that in Q4, if you only account for parts and labor, they made money on their EVs. So for the Q4, the company reported a loss of $2.9 billion. But for the whole year, the net income fell to $6 billion. You can have the Chevy Equinox, you can have the Cadillac Lyriq, you can have GM or Chevy full-size pickup trucks. There's a whole lot of Chevy, and GM products out now that are EVs. Hi, I'm David with EV World News, and I'm here today with our founder and chief editor, Bill Moore. How's it going today, Bill?
It's going great. I'm coming to you from the Moore's kitchen.
Yeah, well, anyways, let's start out. I want to talk about General Motors.
Yes.
So Mary Barra, we haven't talked about General Motors for a bit, but General Motors, a lot of people don't realize how much. So they used to have the Bolt and the Volt, and didn't they have something called the Spark? Was the Spark them as well?
Yes, I've driven the Spark actually at the plant in Maryland where they made the motors.
Okay.
They provided the press with one of them to drive around. It was fun. It was a nice little car to city car, obviously, to drive around. So, yeah, so Spark.
And the EV1 before that, they probably had something else. None of those cars are around anymore, right?
No, I've driven the EV1. I really wish that car were still around because that was a damn nice car. It's a shame they had what they did to it.
Anyways, but the reason I mention that is because now from GM, you can have a Hummer SUV, you can have a Hummer truck. It's got $110,000. They were $300,000 when they first came out because people jacked the price up. But you can have the Chevy Equinox, you can have the Cadillac Lyriq, you can have GM or Chevy full-size pickup trucks. There's a whole lot of Chevy, and GM products out now that are EVs. And Mary Barra came out to say that in Q4, if you only account for parts and labor, they made money on their EVs. Now, as far as retooling the factories, if you take in the cost of retooling the factories and all that, they did not. Okay. But as far as going forward, they're making money on every new EV that rolls off the line now. So they're joining the likes of Volvo, Tesla, Hyundai, and a few other companies that have figured out, a bunch of Chinese companies too, that have figured out, of course, Volvo's questionably Chinese because they're part of Geely. There's a small club. It's probably less than 10 companies that have figured out how to profitably make EVs. And that's been a big struggle because Ford still isn't there. Rivian isn't there. Lucid isn't there. A lot of your European automakers probably aren't there. I don't know about Mercedes. I would think Mercedes and BMW would probably be selling them profitably, but I really don't know. Volkswagen, don't know.
I haven't seen anything that anyone that has spoken to that issue as yet, other than Volkswagen coming out and saying we're losing lots of money, we're going to have to close factories and lay people off because of this whole thing. So it's hard to know what's happening. I think, and part of that also has to do with the European government trying to figure out where they're going to come in on the tariff issue, right?
Right. That's a problem. The Germans are being decimated in the car industry. I think I heard they're losing 10,000 jobs a week or something crazy like that in the German automotive industry. And it's because of the rise of the Chinese. And I've seen other people who say the only country making cars in 10 years might be China. Although I don't know about that. We do have some really positive things going on over here now.
We have a lot of positive things going on here. And if you look behind the curtain, in China, they are having significant economic issues. The reason why Europe has put those tariffs in place as they did, up to 30% or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
It is simply because of the fact that the Chinese governments, not just in Beijing, but all the various local party officials and cities and things, have subsidized those industries to such an extent that they can bring, of course, lower labor costs, that they can bring the price of those cars down to get them out the door and on the ships headed to Europe or Africa or South America and Europe, less so here in the United States because obviously we have both the Biden and now the new administration making it very difficult for them to get cars into this country. Other than Zeekr, I saw the couple headlines I posted. Zeekr had their cars coming to the United States. Well, they parked them inside the convention center in Las Vegas for the Consumer Electronics Show.
So there's some different numbers here that are kind of interesting for General Motors for the quarter. So for the fourth quarter, the company reported a loss of $2.9 billion. But for the whole year, the net income fell to $6 billion. But here's where it starts getting weird with different accounting takes. They had a record pre-tax profit of $14.9 billion, which was a record for General Motors. And so Mary Barra's job's pretty safe if she's turning in numbers like that. But the fact that they made EVs, here was the term, variable profit positive. But
I that's why I put that article and sent it over to you, because I thought, well, maybe Dave will understand.
No, I get that.
There's an explanation in the article, but wow, variable profitability, what is that?
Yeah, so they're profitably making the cars because they spent the money to retool the factory in the past. Okay, so that's very much a net positive.
So the bottom line is it's good news. They appear to be on a path that takes them to making enough money to pay for that retooling and the R&D that went into the cars and that type of thing. Right now, they're paying for the labor and the parts. So the parts for the car and the labor it takes to assemble and put them together and get them out the door, they're making money, which is a positive sign.
The clip you just saw was part of our live podcast. If you enjoyed it, don't miss out. Join us every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday right here on EV World News. We stream not just on YouTube, but also on Facebook and X, so you can catch us wherever you prefer. If you found this content valuable, don't forget to like, subscribe, and to share to help us grow. If you'd like to support our work, please consider becoming a YouTube member. It really helps us bring you the latest EV news and insights. I'll see you in the next one.